Hi, my name is Winsley, and welcome to my tier list for all the doctrines that are in Age of Wonders Planetfall as of the Invasions DLC that came out on May 26th. I made another complete doctrine tier list video back in early April, and 14 follow-up videos where I talked about why I placed 4 to 6 of the doctrines where I did. For example, I talked about the 6 Amazon doctrines in one of those follow-up videos, and then in a different one I covered 4 Synumbra doctrines so that I could really talk about them without making a 5-hour long video, because it really would have taken that long to explain why each doctrine is where it is. So yeah, you may want to go back and watch some of those videos after watching this one if you find it helpful, if you find the discussion to be interesting. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the doctrines that I have added to the complete tier list, including the anomaly doctrines, which I missed in my last one, even though they were in the game. After that, I want to show exactly how you can unlock the anomaly doctrines, because they're kind of hidden in game and don't show up in the Imperial Archives, which, in case you don't know, is basically the in-game wiki that you can use to look up status effects or units or a lot of different little things. I have added 10 doctrines to this complete doctrine tier list, taking the number of doctrines in game from 97 to 107. At least I believe there are 107. I tried to count all of them using a console command, which I'll get to showing you shortly. But before we do that, I did want to talk briefly about the Shakarn doctrines. They're the ones that have blue at the top, kind of like a light blue, and a dark red at the bottom of the doctrine. I have one in the S tier. It's the second one from the left. It's after Noble Diplomats, and I think that's ecological construction off to the right of it. I don't really want to talk about why I placed it there in this video, because I have a separate video which I posted up on my channel last week that talks about why that one is there and why all the other ones are where they are. There's 2 in the A tier. They're after City of the Awakened and before Architect's Touch, which is one of the doctrines we're going to take a closer look at today. Just want to, briefly point out where the other Shakarn doctrines are. There's 2 in B tier. There's one pretty close to the right side of the screen. It's the 4th one to the right on the top level, and then there's another one that's the second one from the right on the bottom level in the B tier. There, one is close to the middle. If you didn't know, things that are to the right are slightly worse than the doctrines that are to the left of them, and then once you get to all the way over to the right, it kind of wraps around to the bottom. So that plant icon in B is slightly better than the Empire Quest doctrine in the tier below it, but all the way off to the left. We have, I think, one more Shakarn doctrine in here that is in C tier. It is close to the right. It's the 4th one to the right on the top level. And yeah, that's all 6 of the Shakarn doctrines. We have one Therian doctrine, that's Black Market Connections, which is all the way down in D tier. It's right before, I think that's Harmonious Existence, and after, I believe, Palatal something propaganda. And to take a closer look at that, I do think it's worth looking at the game. So let's go pull up Black Market Connections. I can spell. There we go. So this will give you a extra 15% of all energy you get as selling rewards as Cosmite. It'll convert some of that, or won't convert. It'll give you a little bit of Cosmite on top of the energy that you would be getting. You don't get extra energy, I believe. You just get a little bit of Cosmite on top of it. And that could be useful if you can unlock this relatively early in the game, but it seems very minor. You're going to be swimming in Cosmite in the late game probably, and if not, this boost isn't going to be very much. You're going to get like a little bit of cosmite from selling items. Sure, if you're killing off everything on the map and selling those items, that could be kind of cool. Or if you're selling your rewards, I think if you take the reward as an item and then sell it, you could get some extra cosmite, but you're probably losing out on some energy if you choose that option. So yeah, that's pretty bad. That's why it's all the way down there in D tier. And yeah, let's now take a look at the anomaly doctrines. The first one we're going to look at is the blessing of the burning emperor. Let's just pull up this again really quickly to show off where it is. It is in C tier, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 away from the right on the bottom row. It's got a little orange tint to it, and it's behind that green Xenoplague doctrine and ahead of the green Empire Quest there. It's pretty good. I think if you use it properly, it'll could allow you to win the game using the Doomsday weapons, but if you're going for Doomsday, you may not need a little reduction in the structure cost, because that's what it does. Let's take a quick look at the game to just kind of earn the thing and show off what it does. So yeah, here's my game. Took me a second to find the tab. You think if I just search him, yeah, he doesn't come up here. So we got to actually earn him in the House of the Emperor. So this guy right here, if I get to the third step, I can bow to him as a Promethean. If I'm playing a Promethean, I get this option, and when I click that option, I get this, which is pretty cool, and this awesome doctrine, which, I mean, yeah, it's pretty useful if that's what you're going for, if you're trying to do the Doomsday victory, but it's completely useless if you're not. So I could see you just ignoring it. It's down in C tier for a reason. The other ones are slightly better. We started off with this one because it's got that unique condition of I think you need a Promethean leader, or you need to be a Promethean commander in order to get this option. I will just load up a different save really quickly to show off what it looks like if you're playing something else. Okay, so this guy has House of the Emperor, and this is my leader, who is a synthesis secret tech person. And when I go into the third step, it won't give me that option for bowing to that dude. I only have this option right here. So yeah, we can compare that to the other stuff very quickly. I think Harbinger, that makes it so that it's easier to make the Doomsday structures and also to cast the operations. I put the this one slightly behind the blessing of the burning emperor because it only reduces the energy cost, and if you are going for structures like that, you probably have more than enough energy. You probably need cosmite. The cosmite reduction the reduction in the burning of the blessing of the burning emperor applies to the cosmite, so I think it's slightly better because it will give you enough cosmite to make those things a possibility. Yeah, it's pretty similar, to be honest. They're almost tied, and I've forgotten, what do I have off to the left of it? Looks like, I think that's forced infection. Let's just pull it up quickly. I think forced infection is a combat thing, so it makes sense that it's a little bit ahead. Forced infection is, yeah, I'll make it so that losing units applies to your counter. That gives you pustules and evolving units. It's okay. Okay, so the next doctrine I want to talk about is actually also tied to House of the Emperors. It's Architect's Touch. If we go all the way to the end of this chain, I think I have that cheat code I am God on, so I should be able to win that. Yeah, accept reward. And yeah, if I go into this. I'll just do the combat and accept the guy, which is join us. If we go with the join us option in the 5th step, then you get Architect's Touch, which is a really, really, really good doctrine, as well as like a leader and a site. So I pretty much always go for that option when I get the House of the Emperors. I mean, that's if I'm able to kill all the guys and I'm still like playing the game. If I still think my AI enemies are going to be an issue. It's hard to justify going for this because you have to take out a lot of really strong units, but if you get this, you're going to have a massive advantage. I wouldn't recommend it for somebody who's playing as a Shakarn or a Kir'ko because they don't have any inherent mechanical or cyborg units. They can get them through NPC factions or by conquering other races that have access to them, like Assembly or Cyborg, or if you conquer Vanguard, they have mechanical units that this can apply to. So you do want those this bonus for those all the other options other than Kir'ko and Shakarn. It's a quite significant boost to have 10 extra HP and 1 extra armor. It says that only applies to things produced in your colonies, and I think that means if you buy a cyborg unit from an NPC faction, this won't apply, but I didn't actually test that. I didn't think about that until just now, so maybe if somebody wants to test that and leave a comment, that could be awesome and helpful for other people. Now, where is this on my list of things? If I go back here and pull it up, I should be able to see it pretty easily. It's right behind heightened Domac regimens. I forget how to say it exactly right now, and I think it's ahead of Phoenix Defense Protocol. So let's pull up Phoenix Defense Protocol first. Onyx. Did they spell it right? I can't spell. There we go. So this will make it so that your units have +2 armor and you get a little bit more operational points. So that only applies when you're fighting within your domain. I think having that extra stuff outside of your domain and will allow you to go on the offense, so it's slightly better, but +2 armor is kind of like having an extra armor and extra 10 HP there. There isn't a big difference between the two because the way armor works is it will give you effectively more HP. So I think they're on par. It depends on how much base HP and then base armor a unit has and if it's dealing with psychic damage or not. So yeah, keep all of that in mind when you're taking that into consideration, the armor and HP boosts that you can get from different things. Now, heightened Domac regimen will give you extra damage, extra accuracy, a reduced upkeep, and energy, all around good. There's pretty much no reason why you wouldn't want to take this. The last doctrine we're going to talk about here is modified A.I.V.A or modified A.I.V.A. I'm not exactly sure how you're supposed to say that. It's got, the points in between the letters, so I think you could probably say it either way and that would be fine. I've got it in B tier, right ahead of, I think, Homeworld Reminiscence, and I've forgotten which, oh, that's a landmark doctrine. That's one of the ones for the Heritor, so I could pull up synthesis data mining and it would be pretty much the same. I can compare them that way. But before we do that, we should probably go in game and actually look at how you earn this one and what the effects are for the modified A.I.V.A doctrine. So yeah, here we go. You get it from the Valentine Manor. I think we're on the right step here. Step 3 of 3 gives you the option to have them contribute to your economy. You can either have them be like a single unit, or you can get a landmark here, or you can get a doctrine. So you got to wait 1 turn for that to go through, and then we can go look at this. So now we have modified A.I.V.A, which is super nice. It's one of those economy boosting doctrines. It gives you a little bit more energy per person working in energy position. So if you've got a lot of population that can work energy, this can significantly boost how much energy you get per turn. On top of that, your units are 10% cheaper to produce, which is probably not as good as a reduction in upkeep. I really like having a reduction in upkeep, but this can allow you to pump out some late game units for a little bit less, which will give you more energy to use on things like operations or, you know, whatever you really want to, maybe modding out a unit. Those are, you know, just a couple of things you can do with the extra energy you get from this. I think the flexibility of having extra energy is super valuable, and that's a big reason of why this made it all the way up into the B tier. It is slightly worse than landmark doctrines because they give you something on top of extra energy. This says right here that if you have a landmark doctrine, this is the same as the Heritor one that was next to modified A.I.V.A, it will give you a reduction in your secret tech by in the research of your secret tech by 25%, and it will make it so that your secret tech units are 20% less energy to produce. So you basically will have more energy and you don't have to commit as many resources to research in order to unlock cool things. So if you can get this doctrine, or the modified A.I.V.A one, if it's between those two, I think I'd recommend a landmark doctrine just a little bit more than the other, but I could see a couple situations where modified A.I.V.A actually would be better, so do keep that in mind. What do we have for the one that's off to the right? I've actually already forgotten. It's homeworld. Okay, reminiscence, I think. So homeworld reminiscence. Yeah, this gives you another boost to your economy. Instead of energy, it'll give you food and happiness, which, you know, happiness can generate energy, so it's good, but not quite as good. All right, the last thing we're going to talk about here is a console command. I hope I get it right. This will unlock all the doctrines that are in the game. So yeah, if you want to just kind of compare the doctrines that I have on my list easily, you can do it using this instead of the Imperial Archives. I heard about that from one of the devs over the past week, and I'm really happy I did. It allowed me to count all of these and check that I had all of them on my list. Actually counted 108. I think it's actually worth pointing out that this one right here is not available in game unless you use the console command. It's got the same icon as an Amazon doctrine, ecological warfare, because I believe it was replaced by ecological warfare. And yeah, if you actually look it up in the Imperial Archives, it still shows up, but it doesn't have a tier associated with it like all of the other ones. Planetary cleanup, its tier is null. There's no entry there, whereas this one is tier 9. So yeah, if any of the devs, you know, are still here watching the video, just wanted to let you know about that. And, you know, just for anyone else who's curious about this type of stuff, I love using the console commands for researching videos. It's super, super useful. And yeah, that's everything I wanted to highlight in this video. If you have any comments you want to share, any thoughts about anything that I covered today, please feel free to leave a comment below or maybe on the forums. I'm pretty active in all the Planetfall places on Reddit, the forum, Steam. So yeah, I'll see you around. Have a good one.